China, watch the exclusive interview with the Eastern Air Command Chief. For the last 6 days, agencies have undertaken relentless operation to crack down on radical Popular Front of India. Now, in this edition, this is exclusive. We have details of the proceeds of crime. Over the last few years, 120 crore rupees have already been deposited into the accounts of the Popular Front of India. And what's even more surprising is that large part of the proceeds of crime, or the donations that were basically received, all of them were in cash. We've been raising this query with the Popular Front of India for several months put together, when time and again Republic TV has exposed the modus operandi of the Popular Front of India. Specific details that have now been accessed by Republic TV goes on to indicate that 1.36 crore rupees, that's the amount that has been received by a man called K.M. Rauf Sharif, who happens to be the National General Secretary of the Campus Front of India. If you're wondering what exactly is Campus Front of India, it's one of the related organizations of the Popular Front of India. What's even more surprising is that an organization does not have its own bank account. It's the National General Secretary K.M. Rauf Sharif's personal bank account, which serves as the bank account of the Campus Front of India. This particular group gets about 1.36 crore rupees, and what turns out is that large part of the money has been used for unlawful activities in the country, which is not limited to anti-CAA protests, or for that matter fomenting trouble ahead of the Delhi riots back in February 2020, and of course organizing that protest at Hathras with the singular aim of perhaps ensuring that the law and order situation deteriorates. Now, we'll go across through each and every detail of the document that has been accessed, and also the money that has basically been transferred. What's important to point out here is that large part of money that has basically come in has come in as foreign donation. But the stated position of the Popular Front of India is that they've never received a single penny from any foreign donor. In fact, one of their founders, P. Goya, has come on record to say that not a single penny was received. But what turns out from the investigation that has been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate in the last several months leading to the culmination of Operation Octopus is the fact that money was very much received by the Popular Front of India, and these were all cash that was basically being received by the Popular Front of India. In fact, before I go across to my colleague Ashwin, I'll just try to show you the details, the bank account details that we have received. Take a look at this. Let's just cut across to the documents that we have. You'll get a clear idea of the amount of money that has come in, and this is the money flow into the money that has come into the account. These are the money account into a man called Abdul Razak. Take a look at this particular document, which shows the money that has come in to the account of Abdul Razak. And also we'll try and put out a chart which has been created by the Enforcement Directorate. Take a look at this particular chart, and I'll try and explain it. How exactly are the funds raised, collected by the Popular Front of India? Take a look at this, a closer look. Funds that have been raised, collected by the Popular Front of India, these are cash deposits, large part cash deposit. There are certain bank transfers that have also taken in. Deposits are made into foreign bank account of Abdul Razak BP, and thereafter it gets transferred into multiple accounts, transferred to NRO account. This is about 2.14 lakh rupees goes into a State Bank of India account. Another 30 lakh rupees goes into the State Bank of India account, and 1 lakh into an HDFC account. Finally, again, all of this is rerouted, and it comes into funds that have been transferred into an organization called the Rehab India Foundation. If you're wondering what exactly is a Rehab India Foundation, it is also another related organization of the Popular Front of India. Now, all of these transactions that you take a look at it, funds that have been raised, collected by Abdul Razak. Abdul Razak, again, happens to be a Popular Front of India. I'll try and just show it to you, a clear picture, a closer look. Take a look at it. which shows funds that have been raised, collected by Abdul Razak abroad, 10 crore rupees that have been transferred illegally to India, 10 crore rupees, 5 plus 5 that have been transferred to Ashraf Pilashri, a PFI member. Similarly, here too also funds that have been raised, collected by Abdul Razak abroad, large amount of it that has gone into carrying out unlawful activities in India. Similarly, there are about target funds. Now this is in dirham. That is what they call a Qatar project. Qatar project where they have raised over 7 lakh, that's 7 lakh dirhams that have been raised, collected by Abdul Razak BP, and this has been illegally transferred to India and once again provided for carrying out unlawful activities in India. Now these three charts that have been created by the Enforcement Directorate, in fact put in the chart sheet that has been filed. In fact, this is the latest. I'll ask my camera person to give a closer look while I try and explain it. Take a look at this is a closer look. You'll understand of the amount of money that has gone into. Not only in Indian currency, the money that has basically been received, but also money that have been raised in dirham and what they were calling the Qatar project. The Qatar project, how the money basically comes in. Let me try and explain this to you. What has essentially happened is that not a single penny of the the foreign donation that was basically coming in was going into the accounts of Popular Front of India directly. No direct banking channel was ever taking place. Large part of the money that they were getting in from abroad was through Hawala. And the other is basically household remittances. Household remittances would be that they would essentially show that someone is working abroad and they've got money from a friend, a relative, but finally that money goes into a different account altogether and utilized by the Popular Front of India. There are, of course, Hawala transactions are also taking place. No proper banking channels have been utilized by the Popular Front of India. And this is also being masked in multiple ways. In one such person, KM Rauf Sharif, has actually shown that a large part of money that they have raised is through selling masks. But the fact of the matter, money gets rerouted through China and comes to Popular Front of India members here in the national capital. Let me now get a quick word from Ashwin, who's joining us on this broadcast. Ashwin, you've also got the details of this particular chart sheet. Let me just bring in my colleague Ashwin, who's coming in right now, getting us more details. And as I also show you some of the documents that we have accessed. Now, Ashwin, this is a comprehensive reporting that we have been doing over the last few days, getting all possible details. And what's important for everyone to understand, beyond the activities of the Popular Front of India on the ground, who is it behind who's actually supporting the Popular Front of India? Who is it outside India who's really supporting the Popular Front of India? These are some very important questions, and it turns out that the basis of this entire Octopus or Operation Octopus is the very investigation that has been carried out by the Enforcement Directorate a few months ago.
Absolutely, Shravan. It definitely looks like when you put in the kind of investigation that has been going on for the last few years, even back in May 2022, there was this mention about ED finding out a resort in Munnar in Kerala, which has been similarly used as a front for the PFI. And all the names that you took just now, all these names had come out during that time in the ED chart sheet that was filed in Kerala as well. And what it now looks like, now that you have given out these very incredible, information, it can definitely be stated, you can connect all this together. The name of Rehab India Foundation, the name of the Abu Dhabi based a hotel and bar which is run in Abu Dhabi had also come out during the time of investigation by ED. But now the sensational revelations that has right now come out, it also talking about the kind of money that has been moved in illegally without even directly going into the account of PFI, but yet helping out in the activism. It definitely looks like this has been a concerted investigation that has been going on by the Enforcement Directorate for quite some time. It has been a very, very meticulous investigation, because at some point of time we really thought that this is like one incident of money laundering when it came out back in May 2022. Now with Operation Octopus and the kind of information that we are now getting revealed, especially the name that you took about Rehab India Foundation and the using of various fronts, especially by the person that you revealed called Razak and few others. It certainly looks like this has been, these individuals and the modus operandi has been on the radar of the Enforcement Directorate for quite some time, and they have been waiting for the right moment to pounce upon them. Certainly, definitely, it looks like a very, very deep-rooted investigation by the ED as well, Shavan.
Well, in fact, we're also getting one more set of breaking news. This is with regards to the Rehab India Foundation, where Republic has now accessed the Enforcement Directorate charge sheet, which was filed back in June. That happens to be the latest charge sheet filed by the Enforcement Directorate in the PFI case. This charge sheet gives details of the PFI's funding module. Investigators have taken note of the PFI's source of funding and the method in which the funds were being routed. We're now showing you a chart on how the PFI used different funds to route the money. One such PFI entity is Rehab India Foundation. In fact, let's just put out the details. Let's put out that graphic that we have prepared, which gives you a sense of how exactly the money is routed. And I also get in my colleague Ashwin as we try and explain the graphic that has been prepared by our team to show you how exactly the money flows, multiple entities and not just one entity. Ashwin, in fact, I'm given to understand there is something called a junior PFI also. That is all children below 18. They are also members of what they're calling a junior PFI. And there is a long list of such affiliate organizations, I'm given to understand. Let's just put out the graphic that has now been prepared in terms of the money flow for all our viewers to understand how exactly the money comes in, who is the one who's basically getting the money, how is it basically being disbursed. And let's not forget, what has essentially turned out is that before any such protests taking place in the country, especially what we saw during the anti-CAA protest, now many would be raising this question that how exactly is the agency making such serious allegations? Now they have basically corroborated it by saying that money that has been received by the PFI activists just ahead of the protest were taken out of their account on the very day when the protests were taking place. What has essentially happened is that there is a proper scrutiny of all the bank accounts. That is only one part of it, because there is a large amount of unaccounted cash that we are essentially talking about. And today, when the searches were basically carried out, we have seen that kind of unaccounted cash being recovered. Let me just get in a 30-second answer from Ashwin. Ashwin, we are putting out more details of the cash transactions that have taken place. You've been tracking the Popular Front of India for a very long time. Just quickly try and explain this to our viewers. Where exactly is the money really coming from, and how exactly was it being utilized?
Well, the money seems to be coming from various Middle Eastern, entities, especially individuals who seems to be supporting of the radicalization and the principles and the vision of PFI. Certainly, from there, it is where the money is coming from. Also, some of the Indian-run entities which are based in the Middle East is one of the sources, and then money is being routed to different places, like as you said before, and many places through Rehab India Foundation and others. In fact, so it clearly looks like there are multiple organizations and multiple entities involved, and it's not just individuals, probably some businesses which are run based in the Middle East as well.
In fact, let's just put this out, the details of this, how the money has been routed, and from what details that we have picked up from the chart sheet, my colleague Niranjan is going to try and explain it to you, how the money flows.
So the PFI got a lot of money. They got a lot of money from around the world in the garb of religion. Now, what did the PFI do with all the crores and crores of rupees that they received? Take a look at one such example that has been mentioned in the Enforcement Directorate charge sheet. Take a look at this. This is how the PFI routed funds. Funds were collected by PFI, in many cases by cash, Middle Eastern countries, Gulf, Dubai, etc. Now, the money would be deposited in foreign bank accounts. And in foreign bank accounts, smaller tranches would be transferred then to different accounts. For example, in this particular chart sheet, there is one transfer of 1 lakh rupees. There's a second transfer of 30.5 lakh rupees. That is account number 2. And account number 3, 2.14 lakh rupees. Now, these are 3 different accounts, all linked to the Rehab India Foundation. Now, the Rehab India Foundation is believed to have been a front for the PFI money laundering operation. So what happens is that they collect money, and then all the money from foreign countries are routed into different accounts of different agencies or groups or companies or NGOs. This one was called the Rehab India Foundation, and it's one example that is there in the Enforcement Directorate chart sheet.
$11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
This has exposed the PFI and SDPI. What this man says is that give us 10 seconds in broad daylight and we will show you who we are.
Petrol bomb hurling case was reported in Coimbatore at the BJP office. Protests have erupted outside a school in Kozhikode after a girl was not allowed to come to school wearing a hijab. In Assam, a clash that happened between 2 factions of the Congress party over who will lead Bharat Jodo Yatra. High drama is likely to ensue in Punjab. BJP set to hold parallel Janta the Vidhan Sabha. The BJP leaders will discuss issues concerning people of the state in a move seen as a counter to the Aam Aadmi Party's government assembly session. In a big win for forces in the valley, Jaish terrorist identified as Abu Hurra has been neutralized in Kulgam. Incriminating material, arms and ammunition have also been recovered from the slain terrorist. In a joint action of Cobra 205, 29th Corps of the SSP and Aurangabad police, raids were conducted at Maoist leaders' residence and a huge amount of bullets and weapons were recovered. The Supreme Court will hear 2 pleas filed by Eknath Shinde's camp of the Shiv Sena challenging disqualification notices issued against 16 rebel lawmakers who switched sides. The court will also hear the pleas that have been filed by Uddhav's camp challenging the appointment of Eknath Shinde as the Chief Minister of the state. In a bid to commemorate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the Eastern Command of the Indian Air Force in association with the Government of Assam is organizing an air show at Lachak Ghat today.
A NASA spacecraft rammed an asteroid at blistering speed in an unprecedented dress rehearsal. The galactic Grand Slam occurred at a harmless asteroid 9.6 million kilometers away, with a spacecraft named DART plowing into the small space rock at 22,500 kilometers per hour. Telescopes around the world and in space aimed at the same point in the sky to capture the spectacle. Though the impact was immediately obvious, DART's radio signal abruptly ceased, and it will be days or even weeks to determine how much the asteroid's path was changed. The USD $325 million mission was the first attempt to shift the position of an asteroid or any other natural object in space. Tuesday's collision was therefore just a technology demonstration and an experiment to assess the capabilities to do such maneuvers in future.
Look at what else is making news this morning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi left for Japan on Monday to participate in the state funeral of Shinzo Abe. The Prime Minister will meet Abe's wife Aki Abe during the 16-hour stay in Japan and is also slated to hold bilateral talks with his Japanese counterpart Fumio Kishida. Amidst the ongoing political crisis in Rajasthan, Congress, the former Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Sachin Pilot, has sought time to meet Congress's interim President Sonia Gandhi. This comes against the backdrop of Ashok Gehlot stalling Pilot.
This has exposed the PFI and SDPI. What this man says is that give us 10 seconds in broad daylight and we will show you who we are.
Petrol bomb hurling case was reported in Coimbatore at the BJP office.
Protests have erupted outside a school in Kozhikode after a girl was not allowed to come to school wearing a hijab.
In Assam, a clash that happened between two factions of the Congress party over who will lead Bharat Jodo Yatra.
High drama is likely to ensue in Punjab. BJP set to hold parallel Janta the Vidhan Sabha. The BJP leaders will discuss issues concerning people of the state in a move seen as a counter to the Aam Aadmi Party's government assembly session. In a big win for forces in the valley, Jaish terrorist identified as Abu Hurra has been neutralized in Kulgam. Incriminating material, arms and ammunition have also been recovered from the slain terrorist. In a joint act,
if you look at the whole 370 issue, I mean, it's a fundamental, maybe I should not be looking in your direction. I ask you all to just a very basic point. What was a temporary provision of the Constitution was finally put to rest. This was supposed to be act of majority. Wait. This was supposed to be majoritarian. Now tell me what was happening in Kashmir was not majoritarian. So, I think the way facts are slanted, things are played up.
This challenge of what is right, what is wrong, what is correct, what is not, what is legitimate, what is illegitimate. I think this is a very, very big issue. When I look, you spoke about American news, it's not just what I see written by some people. I look at media. There are some newspapers who know exactly what they want.
When you are talking of an aircraft like the capability of the F-16, everybody knows where they are deployed and what is the use and what is their capability. So, you're not fooling anybody by saying these things. So, the point is, we really think countries finally make their choices based on their own interest.
Look at what else is making news this morning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi left for Japan on Monday to participate in the state funeral of Shinzo Abe. The Prime Minister will meet Abe's wife, Aki Abe, during the 16-hour stay in Japan and is also slated to hold bilateral talks with his Japanese counterpart, Fumio Kishida. Amidst the ongoing political crisis in Rajasthan, Congress, the former Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Sachin Pilot, has sought time to meet Congress's interim President Sonia Gandhi. This comes against the backdrop of Ashok Gehlot stalling Pilot.
This has exposed the PFI and SDPI. What this man says is that give us 10 seconds in broad daylight and we will show you who we are.
Petrol bomb hurling case was reported in Coimbatore at the BJP office.
Protests have erupted outside a school in Kozhikode after a girl was not allowed to come to school wearing a hijab.
In Assam, a clash that happened between two factions of the Congress party over who will lead Bharat Jodo Yatra.
High drama is likely to ensue in Punjab. BJP set to hold parallel Janta the Vidhan Sabha. The BJP leaders will discuss issues concerning people of the state in a move seen as a counter to the Aam Aadmi Party's government assembly session. In a big win for forces in the valley, Jaish terrorist identified as Abu Hurra has been neutralized in Kulgam. Incriminating material, arms and ammunition have also been recovered from the slain terrorist. In a joint action of Cobra 205, 29th Corps of the SSP And Aurangabad police raids were conducted at Maoist leaders' residence and a huge amount of bullets and weapons were recovered. The Supreme Court will hear two pleas filed by Eknath Shinde's camp of the Shiv Sena challenging disqualification notices issued against 16 rebel lawmakers who switched sides. The court will also hear the pleas that have been filed by Uddhav's camp challenging the appointment of Eknath Shinde as the Chief Minister of the state. In a bid to commemorate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the Eastern Command of the Indian Air Force in association with the Government of Assam is organising an air show at Lachad Ghat today.
A NASA spacecraft rammed an asteroid at blistering speed in an unprecedented dress rehearsal. The galactic Grand Slam occurred at a harmless asteroid 9.6 million kilometers away, with a spacecraft named DART ploughing into the small space rock at 22,500 kilometers per hour. Telescopes around the world and in space aimed at the same point in the sky to capture the spectacle. Though the impact was immediately obvious, DART's radio signal abruptly ceased, and it will be days or even weeks to determine how much the asteroid's path was changed. The USD $325 million mission was the first attempt to shift the position of an asteroid or any other natural object in space. Tuesday's collision was therefore just a technology demonstration and an experiment to assess the capabilities to do such maneuvers in future.
Look at what else is making news this morning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi left for Japan on Monday to participate in the state funeral of Shinzo Abe. The Prime Minister will meet Abe's wife, Aki Abe, during the 16-hour stay in Japan and is also slated to hold bilateral talks with his Japanese counterpart, Fumio Kishida. Amidst the ongoing political crisis in Rajasthan, Congress, the former Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Sachin Pilot, has sought time to meet Congress's interim President Sonia Gandhi. This comes against the backdrop of Ashok Gehlot stalling Pilot.
This has exposed the PFI and SDPI. What this man says is that give us 10 seconds in broad daylight and we will show you who we are.
Action on PFI continues. Over 247 detentions in 11 states today. Pro-PFI protests in Thane and Chennai after the fresh arrests. Chaos continues in Vadra Congress. Pilot lands in New Delhi shortly to meet Sonia. Prime Minister to kickstart Gujarat campaign with an eye on 2024. Big jolt to Uddhav Thackeray in Supreme Court. Top court allows the Election Commission to decide on Sena symbol ownership. Prime Minister Modi pays tribute to former Japanese PM Shinzo Abe, who was assassinated in July in Tokyo. All right, cutting to pictures coming in from Rajasthan, where we are getting first pictures of Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot from his residence. The Chief Minister has discussed the current political situation with the MLAs from his camp, with a veritable rebellion panning out against the Congress High Command, because Ashok Gehlot wants to be Congress president only if he's allowed to be the Chief Minister. Of course, he does not say it in those many words, but the rebellion by the MLAs of his camp clearly suggests so. Let's go to Piyush Mishra. He's right there in Jaipur on the ground reporting for us. Piyush, what's this meeting about? Is Ashok Gehlot telling the MLAs that they should calm down and that let him be Congress president? Or is the position still the same, that Ashok Gehlot can be Congress president provided his man, his follower, his camper becomes the Chief Minister?
Well, Abhishek, we are right now getting these pictures coming in from the Chief Minister of Rajasthan's residence, Ashok Gehlot's residence, where these MLAs of his camp have now reached there to meet him. it was an unofficial meet which was called in by the Chief Minister of Rajasthan. Not enough MLAs. There are around 92 MLAs who are supporting Ashok Gehlot. All of them were not called. Only few were called, and we are getting these pictures of these MLAs who are right now at his residence. If you talk about the current situation, after the top leadership of Congress party getting miffed with Ashok Gehlot for the kind of episode which panned out in the last 2 to 3 days in the state of Rajasthan, now Ashok Gehlot is trying to send out a clear message to top leadership that there was no involvement of Ashok Gehlot per se or his followers in that. In fact, he was not even told by the likes of Shanti Dhariwal, Pratap Singh or Manoj Joshi. They themselves congregated a group of Gehlot camp MLAs and they rebelled against the Congress leadership. So he is telling to Congress leadership that he has nothing to do in the entire episode. In fact, he is the one who is there to follow the orders of High Command. On the other side, Sachin Pilot has rushed to Delhi, where he is slated to meet Sonia Gandhi most likely by today evening in an hour or so, or tomorrow morning. But before that, Pilot is also expected to meet Priyanka Gandhi. As of now, schedule has not come from the office of Sachin Pilot, but hectic parleys are taking place not only in Jaipur but also in Delhi. The pictures are now coming out where Ashok Gehlot is right now discussing about the current political situation in the state of Rajasthan. If you talk about today's development, today Pratap Singh, who is very close aide of Ashok Gehlot, has just done a press conference and he has tried to tell to the observers, Ajay Makar and Mallikarjun Kharge, that they can again come to Jaipur and have one-to-one talks with all the MLAs. Remember that Ajay Makan, after going to Delhi, had told to top leadership where he had mentioned about the fact that he was not allowed to have a one-to-one word with the MLAs. Only 3 MLAs, Pratap Singh, Shanti Dhariwal and Manoj Joshi, they represented the group of entire 92 to 102 MLAs, and they told to Ajay Makan that they would rebel if Sachin Pilot is anointed as the Chief Minister of Rajasthan. So looking at the entire developments that are taking place in Rajasthan, now Ashok Gehlot is holding this crucial meeting. These pictures have come from his residence. On the other side, Pilot camp has also activated, and now they have made a serious allegation. Rajendra Guda, who is a minister in Rajasthan cabinet and also close aide of Sachin Pilot, today he also briefed media. He also stressed about the fact that the Gehlot camp was unhappy with the fact that Sachin Pilot should not be made Chief Minister, and if he is made Chief Minister, then a scam of 400 crore rupees would be unearthed, which means that Gehlot camp would be exposed if Sachin Pilot will be made Chief Minister. This is what Rajendra Guda is now claiming. So allegations, claims versus counter claims are now coming out here. On the other side, Ashok Gehlot is holding meetings here in Jaipur with close MLAs. We can expect a word coming out from Ashok Gehlot. So far, he has not spoken to media, but we have heard from the Gehlot camp that now looking at what's happening in Delhi, looking at High Command getting miffed with Ashok Gehlot camp is now trying to send out a message that Ashok Gehlot was not informed about, we can say, a mini coup which was orchestrated allegedly by Ashok Gehlot. We'll have to wait and watch how things are going to pan out in coming few hours or in coming few days. Right now, Sachin Pilot is in Delhi and likely to meet Sonia Gandhi either today or tomorrow. Abhishek.
All right, thank you so much, Piyush, for that very detailed lowdown on what's happening in Jaipur inside the Congress party, in fact, between Jaipur and Delhi. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's move on to another story, and this is from Jammu and Kashmir, and that's about an encounter taking place in Kulgam. This is the second encounter in the last 24 hours, and Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists seem to be involved. Let's go to Zeenat Zishan, our bureau chief in Srinagar, if she's there, joining us live, and try to understand what's happening on the ground. Zeenat, if you're getting me, please tell us, second encounter in the last 24 hours in Kulgam. Which area of Kulgam? Is the encounter still on or is it completed? Have we been able to eliminate the terrorists?
Abhishek, this is an encounter that is going on in the village Atwatu of Kulgam, South Kashmir, where the encounter has just begun. As per the sources within the police department, that the 2 local JM terrorists have been trapped by the Jammu and Kashmir Police along with the Indian Army that has launched the operation, although it is a human-end operation launched by Kulgam Police, and the information was shared with 34 RR Rashtra Rifles, who is a part of this operation. If we talk about the Kulgam district, since yesterday, in the last 24 hours, we are seeing the second encounter in the district, and earlier yesterday one Pakistani terrorist, Abu Huraira, was neutralized, and now the two local terrorists who have been involved in several crimes, as per the ADGP Kashmir Vijay Kumar, that these two terrorists who have been trapped in Atwatu area of Kulgam, they've been involved in several terror crimes. As far as the press conference that was reported from the Kulgam earlier today, where the JKP has mentioned that in the last 1 year some 50 terrorists have been killed in the joint operation only in the Kulgam district, and out of 50, 10 terrorists are the Pakistani terrorists. This tells you the scenario of Pakistani terrorists in the Kulgam district. More on the story, keep watching Republic TV.
$11,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
A NASA spacecraft rammed an asteroid at blistering speed in an unprecedented dress rehearsal. The galactic Grand Slam occurred at a harmless asteroid 9.6 million kilometers away, with a spacecraft named DART plowing into the small space rock at 22,500 kilometers per hour. Telescopes around the world and in space aimed at the same point in the sky to capture the spectacle. Though the impact was immediately obvious, DART's radio signal abruptly ceased, and it will be days or even weeks to determine how much the asteroid's path was changed. The USD $325 million mission was the first attempt to shift the position of an asteroid or any other natural object in space. Tuesday's collision was therefore just a technology demonstration and an experiment to assess the capabilities to do such maneuvers in future.
Look at what else is making news this morning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi left for Japan on Monday to participate in the state funeral of Shinzo Abe. The Prime Minister will meet Abe's wife, Aki Abe, during the 16-hour stay in Japan, and is also slated to hold bilateral talks with his Japanese counterpart, Fumio Kishida. Amidst the ongoing political crisis in Rajasthan, Congress, the former Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Sachin Pilot, has sought time to meet Congress's interim President Sonia Gandhi. This comes against the backdrop of Ashok Gehlot stalling Pilot.
This has exposed the PFI and SDPI. What this man says is that give us 10 seconds in broad daylight and we will show you who we are.
Petrol bomb hurling case was reported in Coimbatore at the BJP office.
Protests have erupted outside a school in Kozhikode after a girl was not allowed to come to school wearing a hijab.
In Assam, a clash that happened between two factions of the Congress party over who will lead Bharat Jodo Yatra.
High drama is likely to ensue in Punjab. BJP set to hold parallel Janta the Vidhan Sabha. The BJP leaders will discuss issues concerning people of the state in a move seen as a counter to the Aam Aadmi Party's government assembly session. In a big win for forces in the valley, Jaish terrorist identified as Abu Huraira has been neutralized in Kulgam. Incriminating material, arms and ammunition have also been recovered from the slain terrorist. In a joint action of Cobra 205, 29th Corps of the SSP and Aurangabad police, raids were conducted at Maoist leaders' residence and a huge amount of bullets and weapons were recovered. The Supreme Court will hear two pleas filed by Eknath Shinde's camp of the Shiv Sena challenging disqualification notices issued against 16 rebel lawmakers who switched sides. The court will also hear the pleas that have been filed by Uddhav's camp challenging the appointment of Eknath Shinde as the Chief Minister of the state. In a bid to commemorate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the Eastern Command of the Indian Air Force, in association with the Government of Assam, is organising an air show at Lachad Ghat today.
A NASA spacecraft rammed an asteroid at blistering speed in an unprecedented dress rehearsal. The galactic Grand Slam occurred at a harmless asteroid 9.6 million kilometers away, with a spacecraft named DART plowing into the small space rock at 22,500 kilometers per hour. Telescopes around the world and in space aimed at the same point.
In a big win for Lieutenant Governor of Delhi VK Saxena, the Delhi High Court passed an ad interim injunction against the Arvind Kejriwal-led party and its leaders. The court not only asked AAP leaders to delete all defamatory or factually incorrect content against the LG and his daughter, but also restrain them from posting such material in the future.
Even as the AAP government versus Delhi LG face-off continues to rage on, the Delhi High Court's ad interim injunction in favour of LG has left the Aam Aadmi Party red-faced once again. Not only did the High Court refute all allegations in its observations, but also asked AAP leaders to take down all defamatory content against the LG. In a big win for the LG, court also restrained AAP leaders from posting any defamatory material in the future. The order by Delhi High Court has laid to rest AAP's big Rs 1,400 crore scam allegations.
In a major relief for Lieutenant Governor of the National Capital VK Saxena, the Delhi High Court today gave an injunction in the favour of Mr. Saxena, asserting that the Aam Aadmi Party leaders should take down the defamatory tweets and other social media posts that they had put against the family and of course Mr. VK Saxena. Following this particular injunction that was given by the Delhi High Court, VK Saxena also came out and tweeted that Satyamev Vijayate, the truth prevails and always win.
All eyes are now on Aam Aadmi Party as it bites the dust yet again. Bureau Report for Republic TV.
Air Marshal D.K. Patnaik, AOC in Sea Eastern Air Command, in an exclusive interaction with Republic, shares how the Indian Air Force is touching new horizons every day. He spoke to Anirudh Bhakat in Guwahati a while back. Take a listen.
If you can just pan it that side towards Lachit Borphukan. He was the commander of the ground forces of the Home Dynasty. What a wonderful place to show our prowess to the people of Guwahati and people of Assam. And it's a matter of pride that we could come all the way here, and with the blessings of goddess Kamakhya, all the weather has also improved and we can show the prowess of our Air Force. Between the three, Army, Navy and Air Force, all are equal. It's nothing that Army is bigger. So it is our turn to show our prowess to the people of Guwahati, and you will see it for yourself in another 15-20 minutes when 9 aircraft of Surya Kiran team, the world famous, who have done their displays abroad also, they will show their efforts out here.
Given the fact that you are commanding the eastern sector, eastern frontier of the country, it comes with a lot of challenges because of the terrain, particularly the weather conditions, and in the very recent past also we have seen how inclement weather condition has put a major challenge on the Air Force. So how the Indian Air Force is tackling with those challenges as we move ahead?
As the days have progressed and the technology has improved, we have weather radars on almost all the aircraft, transport and even helicopters, and in fighters also make use part of the radar to make sure that we are able to negotiate the weather. So weather is not a inhibition anymore. It's just that during peacetime we don't take unnecessary risk, but in case of a requirement, weather will not come in the way, and we will be able to deliver our loads at the places that the country wants us to offload, and we will do it. It's not an issue, and we are practicing for it on a regular basis.
How about guarding the Eastern Theatre? What are the challenges that the Indian Air Force has been facing as far as guarding the Eastern Theatre is concerned?
Guarding the Eastern Theatre, the challenges are more internal than external. We should be able to handle the external. Internal, I won't say it's a challenge. What is important is we are a growing force in this region because of our enemies close by. We need to have armaments stored in our places, And this aspect I had conveyed it to the Honorable CM, Chief Minister, and he's been very kind to give directions to his officials to be proactive in ensuring that we are able to store weapons in this area to the required amount, so that just getting an aircraft airborne is not good enough. It should also carry armament with it, and that armament should be able to be delivered where it is meant to be. So we are in the process of expansion and making protection for places. So that's how it is.
You have been extensively visiting the forward areas, particularly. I have also personally seen how you have recently visited Bijaynagar and also Mechuka. So as far as Arunachal Pradesh is concerned, because it's on the easternmost part, what is the plan of the Indian Air Force as far as developing ALGs and the infrastructure particularly is concerned in Arunachal Pradesh?
Arunachal Pradesh is bordering most of the Chinese locations, and if you have noticed, China has developed their locations very close to the line of actual control, and we have been slightly behind time in this aspect. But now what has happened is we are also in the progress. First we will develop the ALGs. From there, movement of troops and material becomes easier. We have 9 ALGs in the area, and I have made it a point to visit all the 9 ALGs because our troops are ahead. They walk 17 days to reach the post. We want to cut it down to a few hours like China has, and all the efforts are on. And maybe another year or so, things will start progressing to match up with our Chinese counterpart.
Thank you so much. This was Air Marshal D.K. Patnaik speaking exclusively to Republic Media Network.
A NASA spacecraft rammed an asteroid at blistering speed in an unprecedented dress rehearsal. The galactic Grand Slam occurred at a harmless asteroid 9.6 million kilometers away, with a spacecraft named DART plowing into the small space rock at 22,500 kilometers per hour. Telescopes around the world and in space aimed at the same point in the sky to capture the spectacle. Though the impact was immediately obvious, DART's radio signal abruptly ceased, and it will be days or even weeks to determine how much the asteroid's path was changed. The USD $325 million mission was the first attempt to shift the position of an asteroid or any other natural object in space. Tuesday's collision was therefore just a technology demonstration and an experiment to assess the capabilities to do such maneuvers in future. Agency report for Republic TV.
And some stories from across the country in a top wrap. Day 6 of national crackdown on Popular Front of India. 7 PFI workers have been taken into custody from Belagavi. Their phones have been seized and their social media accounts are under the radar. Section 144 has been imposed in the Jamia Nagar with effect from 19th September to 17th of November. Delhi police warned that violators would be held accountable. As the crackdown on PFI continues in 8 states, fresh searches on PFI leaders and their associates were made, in which 2 people linked to PFI have been arrested from Navi Mumbai as well. According to sources, both of them will be produced at the court shortly. Two women vandalized Goddess Durga Mata idol at a pandal in Hyderabad, who were later caught by the locals and were handed over to Saifabad police. According to police officials, 2 women entered into the pandal in Khairatabad and vandalized a part of Goddess Durga idol. After vandalizing, they went into a chapel too. An incident of vandalism has been reported from Tamil Nadu's Chennai. According to sources, the statue of Marudhar Gopalan Ramachandran has been defiled, while more details on the same are awaiting. An investigation is underway. The central BJP leadership has summoned Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami to Delhi, leading to speculation about possible changes in the state cabinet. Sources say that not just BJP but party's ideological fountainhead RSS is also unhappy with the handling of the serious and sensitive case of Ankita Bhandari's murder and the piling issues of corruption against Dhami-led government. Commissioned first in 2016, women personnel are on the rise in the IAF, with female pilots operating aircraft in India's east, such as over Ladakh and Arunachal Pradesh. Moving on to another pilot. Such a pilot arrives in Delhi to meet Gandhis amid Rajasthan political crisis. According to sources, he will meet Sonia Gandhi at the earliest. Riaz Bhatti, an aide of underworld Don Dawood Ibrahim, has been arrested by the anti-extortion cell of the Mumbai crime branch in connection with an extortion case, along with charges of threats to kill a businessman. The aide was arrested from Andheri in Mumbai. Delhi High Court passed an interim injunction in favor of LGVK Saxena in a suit of civil defamation. He had urged the court to pass directions to AAP and its leaders to take down alleged defamatory tweets and other related posts against him and his family from the social media platform.
Indian education sector is looking at a massive upgrade in the syllabus and teaching methods.
Most of the places there is a rote learning. We people have come out with a pedagogy where happiness is at the center.
How will this impact the learners?
It is never about that the old system was old and it had to be junk. No, it's just that we have to constantly adapt ourselves.
To know more, watch HVB Global Academy presents Right to be Happy this weekend only on Republic TV.
In a joint action of Cobra 205, 29th Corps of the SSP and Aurangabad police, raids were conducted at Maoist leaders' residence and a huge amount of bullets and weapons were recovered. The Supreme Court will hear two pleas filed by Eknath Shinde's camp of the Shiv Sena challenging disqualification notices issued against 16 rebel lawmakers who switched sides. The court will also hear the pleas that have been filed by Uddhav's camp challenging the appointment of Eknath Shinde as the Chief Minister of the state. In a bid to commemorate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the Eastern Command of the Indian Air Force in association with the Government of Assam is organizing an air show at Lachad Ghat today.
A NASA spacecraft rammed an asteroid at blistering speed in an unprecedented dress rehearsal. The galactic Grand Slam occurred at a harmless asteroid 9.6 million kilometers away, with a spacecraft named DART plowing into the small space rock at 22,500 kilometers per hour. Telescopes around the world and in space aimed at the same point in the sky to capture the spectacle. Though the impact was immediately obvious, DART's radio signal abruptly ceased, and it will be days or even weeks to determine how much the asteroid's path was changed. The USD $325 million mission was the first attempt to shift the position of an asteroid or any other natural object in space. Tuesday's collision was therefore just a technology demonstration and an experiment to assess the capabilities to do such maneuvers in future.
Look at what else is making news this morning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi left for Japan on Monday to participate in the state funeral of Shinzo Abe. The Prime Minister will meet Abe's wife Aki Abe during the 16-hour stay in Japan and is also slated to hold bilateral talks with his Japanese counterpart Fumio Kishida. Amidst the ongoing political crisis in Rajasthan, Congress, the former Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan, Sachin Pilot, has sought time to meet Congress's interim President Sonia Gandhi. This comes against the backdrop of Ashok Gehlot stalling Pilot.
This has exposed the PFI and SDPI. What this man says is that give us 10 seconds in broad daylight and we will show you who we are.
Petrol bomb hurling case was reported in Coimbatore at the BJP office.
Protests have erupted outside a school in Kozhikode after a girl was not allowed to come to school wearing a hijab.
In Assam, a clash that happened between two factions of the Congress party over who will lead Bharat Jodo Yatra.
High drama is likely to ensue in Punjab. BJP set to hold parallel Janta the Vidhan Sabha. The BJP leaders will discuss issues concerning people of the state in a move seen as a counter to the Aam Aadmi Party's government assembly session. In a big win for forces in the valley, Jaish terrorist identified.
Assam police raided multiple locations last night in Tarang district as well as in Kamrup district, and 22 of them have been picked up by the Assam police.
3 a.m. the raids have been conducted in different places of Delhi. If we talk, Shaheen Bagh, Jamia Nagar, Nizamuddin, South District and few parts of Rohini are being raided.
In Kannur, there were multiple raids that had taken place. As a subsequent action, some of the shopkeepers have also been called into the police station.